We're near those record highs for gold. Just talk to us about supply and demand dynamics at the moment when it comes to gold and really the long-term outlook when it comes to bullion.
Hi, Yvonne, and thanks so much for having me. I think when it comes to demand, the big focus really here is investors. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, be it geopolitical or macroeconomic, and certainly we've seen a flight to quality, i.e. a flight to gold in recent months, and that's a trend which we foresee continuing as we go throughout the year.
Ruth, the thing is that, of late, it's not really been, gold has not really been the sort of haven that it was before. Why do you think that's the case? Because many expected just at the beginning of the COVID pandemic for people to actually rush into the precious metal, but they didn't as much as one would have expected. What's the deal?
Well, during the pandemic itself, I mean, there was a huge rush into gold. We broke through the $2,000 barrier for the first time in August 2020, and I think we've approached that again in the last month. I think, though, in terms of the price this year, a lot of focus has been on why isn't gold higher? And a lot of that has to do with a strong U.S. dollar, certainly starting in the year. But we have seen record highs in other currencies worldwide. And it's certainly something from a price as well as a volume perspective that we see the interest continuing into the coming months, particularly as we look to see what will central bankers around the world continue to do. And I would say one thing that they are absolutely doing is buying gold. We saw record volumes from central bank holdings increase significantly in 2022, and that's continued into this year with the recent pledges that those volumes will increase even further in the years to come.
What about the Fed? I mean, obviously there's talk of a pause, but then again, inflation still remains quite sticky out there, and gold usually doesn't fare well when there's a higher rate environment. Is that still a big hurdle for gold?
Well, I think everyone's looking carefully to see what's going to happen with the Fed, and that's certainly the biggest thing that is keeping the gold price sort of where it is from a U.S. dollar's perspective. The uncertainty in terms of the Fed, in terms of central banks worldwide, and what they're going to do to address inflation is something that is of key interest. I think it still means that there is a move to counter that inflation with holdings in gold and diversification of the portfolio. I think the central bank buying that we've been delighted to see worldwide is a reflection on the recognition that gold is a high-quality liquid asset, one that we would like to see recognized for balance sheets for commercial banks around the world. And part of our mission recently is getting regulators to recognize gold as the high-quality liquid asset that it is.